Always great to have my next guest on the show. You know who it is, Bellator heavyweight Tim Johnson, who will be back in action on April the 21st at Bellator 294 when he meets Said Sowma. Tim, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Good, man. Happy to have you back. And it's been a little while since we've seen you in action, almost a year to the day. So what's the reason for the layoff? Is there a specific reason, or you just couldn't find a fight?
As far as I know, everything was log jammed is what I got told. Yeah, I've been pushing for a fight for about the last 8 months. So, and then I think time got kind of close enough here to, the Hawaii fight for the troops. And they're like, let's just throw Tim on that, being a member of the military himself. So, yeah, otherwise I was pushing for a fight last fall right away. After that, debacle of zero fight IQ, I placed on my last fight, and I want to get going, but here we are.
Well, the last time that I did speak to you was right before you fought Fedor in Russia. So if you don't mind, I'd like to start there, because obviously that was such a big fight. You're going in against what a lot of people feel like maybe is the best heavyweight of all time. Just run me through, looking back at that now. Would you have had a different game plan? Would you have gone into it differently if you had another chance at him?
Yeah, I would have actually tried to execute the game plan we put in place. I kind of went rogue when we were in there. I like to think that people asked me leading up to the fight, and I don't think it did, but after the fact, looking back, I think I kind of got caught up in, all the lights and who I'm fighting and all that a little bit, and kind of wanted to go out there and both my coaches that were there with me asked me what the heck I was doing after the fact. A couple days later, they didn't right after the fight, they kind of let me alone, but that was nothing that we were planning to do. Me just to go stand out in front of them and try to throw leather. It's not really who I am. That's not not what I should be doing with a guy who's known to be a knockout artist, especially. And so yeah, I would have stuck with my game plan a little bit more had I done it different, but it is what it is.
I can't even imagine what it would be like to make the walk to the Bellator cage to fight Fedor in Russia in a main event of a big card like that. Were the nerves any different? Did it kind of hit you different than other fights?
A little bit. I wouldn't say nerves, just kind of the weight of the ordeal. Like you said, I mean, that's kind of that's an experience that no one, especially you had in Russia, like very few people get to have that kind of story to tell. So yeah, I think maybe I got caught up a little bit with it, but as I said, I'm not Mr. Knockout, and I tried going out there against Mr. Knockout, and I got to get a good view of the ceiling.
What were the fans like? How did they treat you before and after? What was that whole experience like?
The fans are great. I got recognized more walking around, Moscow than I did anywhere else, any other place I've fought before. Walking around the shops and stuff, people, you talk to them a little bit, and they'd eventually figure out that I was there to fight. And then Fedor, I saw you on a commercial. I saw you on the billboard. And like, yeah. So, and the fans, I think most of my following on Instagram is actually based out of Russia, actually. And Fedor's team, I fought Fedor, I fought Moldavsky, and I know like the Nemkov guys, and we all drank together afterwards and had a bunch of drinks and laughs and bullshitted. So it was a pretty good time with them.
Very cool. Any chance you train with them down the line? It seems like maybe a little bit of a friendship was built.
They come to America to train. I definitely love to train with them. But I think they're pretty Team Fedor. They got their own camp, their own team going over there, and that's probably what they're going to stick with.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Makes sense. As far as where you would rank Fedor all time, I mean, we just saw he lost to Bader again, and now he's retired. Where would you rank him all time as far as like greatest heavyweights, Mount Rushmore of MMA? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I'd put him top 3. I'm not gonna put a placing on him 1, 2, or 3, but I put him top 3. I mean, there's some I mean, it's not gonna be Knox, but I mean, there's some competition that he hasn't fought that would have, if he would have transferred over to UFC, that would have been some great fights. But his Strikeforce day is it's pretty, or not Strike, but Pride. Yeah, I got all mixed up there. His Pride days. He fought some big names and smashed pretty much all of them. So, but I'd still got to go with Stipe. He's like me, he's getting along in the tooth. So, but he's done his due time, his due diligence, and then he had that belt for a long time for a reason. And the heavyweights, it's hard to keep that belt that long, just because one punch may change everything.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, regardless, you were in there with one of the absolute greatest to ever do it, and definitely a memory that you're going to have for the rest of your life. And that next fight, you talked about it earlier. We alluded to it. Bellator 277, the loss to Linton Vassell. Man, I thought you had him out of there like 3 or 4 times. Do you think the ref could have stepped in and stopped it?
He was cognitive. He was definitely draft legged. And I'm not going to put any of that on the ref or that was talking to friends and coaches and teammates, and right after I'm like, that was some real amateur level stuff from me. I let the excitement of watching him drop in that moment, and as a professional, that's where you got to keep your calm and you got to finish the job. I got excited. I was thinking, yes, new contract, here we go. let's finish the job. And had I actually just taken a breath right there, I mean, let him stand back up and finish it. That I know what Linton's game. I wasn't nervous about exchanging with him. I wasn't nervous about his kicks. Only thing I was nervous, and you got to give him respect, is his grappling is something. He's tough to deal with. He's long. His arms are super long. And when you get into a grappling match with him, I don't care what kind of wrestler you are, you're going to have a challenge. And that's not where I wanted to be. Maybe I thought I am dazed enough where I was just trying to go in and, for the kill, but he was still defending as dizzy and dazed as he was still defending just fine. So I'm not putting, not the ref should have stopped it. Like I would have been pissed if I would have been in Linton's shoes and a ref stepped in, I would have been pretty angry.
Yeah, well, I know that had to have been a really tough loss for you to take, because I know, Tim, especially at this point in your career, you just want to be fighting the best. You want to be, getting towards, hopefully a title shot before you do walk away into the sunset. Was that moment after that loss to Linton with this 3-fight losing streak, was that the lowest point that you felt in a little while, maybe in your career?
In a little while. I mean, the lowest part would have been, the fighting Minikoff on 12 hours notice, and get knocked out in that one, and this the fight before that got knocked out by Czech in a minute, and then here I am, last fight of the contract, 0-2, lose to Tyrell, and that's the end of my career. I'm not going to go back to at my age, even back then was 35, but I wasn't going to go back to the regional level. That's time to call our quits at that age. And and I'm kind of probably in the same predicament right now. If things don't go the way I want against Said, maybe since the level of the competition that I fought my last 3 fights, maybe I can get one more, but I can't leave that up to chance. I'm backs against the wall again, and it's a must-win fight.
So how many fights do you have left on your contract right now?
This is the last one.
This is the last one. Okay. So obviously it goes without saying, the importance of this fight for you is enormous. Are you feeling pressure going into this one?
No more than I did against Tyrell. This is it's crunch time right now. And and Said's a heck of an opponent. And honestly, when they are like, hey, finally offered the fight, you got Said Sowma. I'm like, seriously, guys, this is the only guy you got for me to fight, because I like Said. So he's a cool dude. I don't want to fight Said. And it was him or nobody. And kind of a little back and forth, not bickering, but like, I mean, this kind of for me, yeah, I'm coming off of 3 losses, I guess. And I'm still ranked 6, but Said's unranked. I'm like, it's kind of a lose-lose situation. I mean, I want to, who should be fighting someone around, like Steve Mowry or someone right around that same area as I'm at. And everyone's kind of booked up. So it was either this or nobody. So it's time to get a paycheck.
Yeah, well, geez, I'm glad you dove into that a little bit because I was looking at the rankings before we started this interview, and I did see you were sixth, and Saeed's not ranked. So yeah, you're right. It's a really tough spot to kind of put you in because it's a must win. It's a lose-lose situation for you. Do you like the matchup? Do you just think stylistically this is a good fight for you?
I think it could be either way. Saeed is a stick and move fighter. I'm more of a plotting kind of guy, so it's going to be a lot of running around. I'm going to be chasing a lot. So I'm probably going to get hit quite a bit. Saeed's hand speed and his leg speed is going to be much quicker than mine, and that's I've never been faster than anyone I've ever fought before, so I'm used to that. That's just kind of the way I am, and it's just gonna be a matter of cutting angles and being able to put my weight on him. He's stout kid, strong, but still he's only 235, maybe 40 pounds. So get some weight on him, get some grappling going, and just kind of grind it out a little bit. Maybe take some of that pep in a step away. And I know he's gonna be throwing a lot of lead leg kicks. So make sure you're checking those and making sure he doesn't chop me down like it did Minikov. His Minikov fight impressed me very, very much. And that's where we like bonded over in Russia because we were the only two who spoke English pretty much. So me and him were bullshitting quite a bit during our fight week there. So yeah, props to him. Tough kid, tough out, and yeah, hopefully get a win. And if both of us could win, I'd appreciate that. But that's not the way the fight game works. And sometimes this industry pits you against guys that you don't want to fight, but that's part of the business.
So with that being said, in his particular skill set that he brings to the cage, has this been a camp where you've been focusing even more like on your cardio with having to kind of with how much movement he has?
Yeah, trying to get lighter on my feet. Just sparring with some more athletic gentlemen, younger athletic heavyweights that we have in the room, and some light heavyweights just to get the movement. Trying to keep pace with them. That doesn't always show in the fights, but I'm not Mr. Power Puncher. I'm more of a volume kind of guy. Like I just throw. So my cardio is actually usually pretty good. I think I'm about on pace right now. I'm going out running 5Ks, a couple times a week right now, not dying on them, running, 3 miles and, half hour. So averaging like 10-minute miles and a 5K. I'll take that right now, but we still got 4 weeks to go. So I'm going to try to extend that out even a little bit more.
So with 4 more weeks left, what do you have planned? Any traveling, or are you pretty much set where you're at right now, and it's more just kind of fine tuning some things before the fight?
Now, some fine tuning. I got some more stuff I can do. Gonna probably crank up, do some more intense grappling back back when I was young in my college days. Try to tap the fountain of youth here a little bit, not just do the hang and drag, type thing. Get a little more explosive on my takedowns and just movement in general. And yeah, that's about that's the recipe for me.
All right, and obviously still at Extreme Couture in Vegas. Has Francis been around?
Hit and miss, hit and miss. He's been coming in, and Francis has got a lot going on right now. So, I think he's been spending a bunch of time boxing, which probably a good indicator there.
What was your take on the John Jones Cyril Gahn fight? And did you talk to Francis at all? What did he think of that?
Yeah, I haven't talked to Francis about it. Yeah, I don't know. I expected more. I think a lot of people did. I didn't expect, Cyril to win. John's wrestling is just grappling's just next level compared. I mean, Francis out wrestled him. So, I mean, I knew that like there's a straight avenue to victory just right there. But yeah, I was kind of went the way I thought it was going to be, but I thought there was going to be a little more output on from Cyril's side of things than what transpired.
Yeah, geez, I thought it was going to get out of the first round at least. That was a little shocking as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, it was I thought it was probably gonna be first round.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. The thing that was nuts about it is just it looks so effortlessly for Jones. Like it didn't even look like he's breathing hard. Like yeah. So just a reminder of how good he actually is.
Do you think Stipe still has enough left in the tank to give him a run in this fight, or do you feel like John's gonna walk through him too?
I don't know. I mean, we've seen so many different Stipes, and it, like, you remember Stipe walking around at 255, cut and bulky, and then he dropped, seemed like he dropped 20 pounds the last couple of years, and he kind of looks north thin, that hybrid. I think he should go back to being a little more bulky. Um, John's gonna match his movement either way. I think he's got another one. I think he's got another one in him. Either way, it should be a pretty good fight. It will make it out of the first round for sure.
Yeah, no, I would have to agree with you there. Let's talk about Bellator 294 again. It's in Honolulu, Hawaii, April 21st. A salute to the troops here. So, what does that mean to you to be fighting on this card, to be the co-main event of something for the military, to honor them? Honor you.
It must, I guess it'll be like I'm fighting in my backyard. I mean, I should have a home crowd, I would think. And it's nice to kind of, yeah, it's a card that I've wanted to get on since Bellator started doing them, and I've been with them, and it kind of worked out this way. And not surprising, I was I'm gonna have to give Liz some shit when I see her there. She must have had more combat experience than I did. That's why she's main, not co-main. So, but yeah, no, it's gonna be a great experience, and more than happy to do it for them.
You gonna take the family out and spend a little extra time? I mean, it is Hawaii.
My wife and my two girls are gonna be coming out. We're gonna stay an extra week after the fight, and my father and my in-laws are going to be coming and helping us with the girls as well during the fight. So yeah, we're there. Might as well make a trip out of it.
Very cool. Anything planned, or are you just gonna kind of kick your feet up afterwards and relax?
We got some things, some ideas. My wife's family, or my wife's parents, have gone to Hawaii many times, and they kind of know the ins and outs. They love Hawaii, and so I think they're going to be our own personal little tour guides.
Very cool. I'm sure you'll have a great time. You'll enjoy yourself. But obviously, this is a business trip first. You got to go in there and get this win. And we did talk about the matchup with Sowma a little bit earlier here. He's coming off two split decision losses to Davion Franklin and Gokhan Sarkhan. Did you take anything from those two fights? Because obviously, he's probably going to have even more of a chip on his shoulder coming in here to get a win, especially coming off the two losses.
Yeah, I'm kind of basing, the way I fight and what I've seen from those two fights, and kind of matched up what I was saying about what I need to do and where I need to go. All his fights are close. He's very competitive. He's a very dangerous fighter. It just, hasn't got the nod to go his way every time. And like I said, his win over Minikoff was super impressive. And for many years, I was probably almost a fanboy for Minikoff before he even came to Bellator. I thought Minikoff was probably one of the best heavyweights in the world for years before, I joined. That wasn't with the UFC. So, yeah, I mean, you can't take anything away from him. Young, hungry, full of piss and vinegar.
How do you see this fight ending, Tim?
Split decision.
You do? You think it's going to go the distance and you're going to get a split decision win?
Yeah. He's going to win round 1. I'm going to win round 2 and 3.
Okay. Wow. I for whatever reason, I was thinking maybe I was going to hear a finish out of your mouth, but not the case.
No, I ain't looking for finishes.
All right. Well,
that's what got me in trouble 2 times now.
With the judges, being kind of like all over the place with decisions and every promotion across mixed martial arts, I mean, does that make it a little bit nerve-wracking for you to think that this is going to be going to the judges?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in both situations. When I fought in London against Daniel Olman, I can never pronounce his last name. Olman, I can't remember him. Anyways, that was a split decision win for me, which I honestly was sitting in there. I didn't have any idea which way that was going to go. So I think I actually lucked out on that one. That was an even fight that could have been going either way. And then I feel like I got cheated against Volkov in Ireland. I felt like I won I felt that I was sitting there thinking I won that fight pretty much with ease, and ended up losing that one. So I've been on both sides of the ball there.
How much longer do you want to fight after this? I mean, I'm assuming you want to get another contract with Bellator and fight a few more times. What are you thinking as far as duration goes?
I want to get, as we stand right now, after this one, 4 more, and take it from there. But I'd be happy with 4 more and riding off in the sunset. That's all that I'm able to do. But get a win here, that starts the ball moving a little bit. Got a game plan for a call out and where to call it out. And just the inactivity. I want to get three. I mean, 2 fights a year would be minimum, but I'd like to get 3 fights a year. And then maybe turn it to 4 fights to 6 fights. But right now, just got to fight. I only got one focus, and that's the fight coming up in 4 weeks.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, we're all glad to see you back in action, Tim. Again, it's been far too long, my man. Like Bellator 294, April 21st. Tim Johnson back in action against Said Sowma. As always, man, I appreciate you doing this. Appreciate your time this evening. Before we do sign off, I want to give you the floor. Please tell people where they can follow you on social media. If you have anyone to thank, the floor is yours.
Yeah, just swing on over to Instagram, tbeartim. It's pretty much the only platform I'm on anymore. Ventured away from the other ones. That's on my rollout here. Once I'm done fighting, I'm gonna get off all social media and go back to a flip phone. And my sponsorships, Troll Clothing, they support the troops, they support blue collared grunts, and yeah, you can go use my code Tim Johnson MMA 15 for 15% off any of their clothing. Great stuff. I can't, even more importantly is the people that run it. I can't say enough about how great of a business that they have. And, H9 Nutrition out of Fargo, and Texas Oil Group down in Texas. If you're looking for, and once things open up here in the oil fields here, hopefully the next couple of years, guys looking for a job, give Texas Oil Field a call.